Episode 12, The Surprise Letter. Hello everyone, and welcome back to our A to English podcast. I hope you are having a wonderful day. Today's story is called The Surprise Letter. In today's world, most people communicate through their phones. We send text messages. We send emails. We use social media every day. Because of this, receiving a real letter has become something very unusual. This story happened last autumn. It was a quiet Sunday morning. The weather was cool, and the sky was full of white clouds. I had no special plans for the day. I decided to stay at home, read a book, and organize my room. While I was cleaning my desk, I heard someone knocking on the front door. I walked to the door and opened it. The mail carrier smiled and handed me a small envelope. He said, "This letter is for you." I looked at the envelope with surprise. I almost never received letters. Most people contacted me by email or by phone. There was no company logo on the envelope. There was only my name and my address written in neat handwriting. I thanked the mail carrier and closed the door. For a few moments, I simply looked at the envelope. I wondered who had sent it. I carefully opened it. Inside, there was a single piece of paper. At the top, it said, "Dear friend." I smiled. The letter continued. "You do not know me very well, but I have been watching your progress for a long time." I became curious. I continued reading. "Several months ago, I attended a public event where you gave a short presentation in English. I tried to remember the event. Then I remembered. A few months earlier, I had spoken for only 5 minutes during a small community meeting. I had been very nervous. I thought nobody would remember my speech, but someone had." The letter continued. "You were not perfect. You made a few mistakes, but you did something that many people never do. You stood up and tried." Those words made me stop reading for a moment. I smiled quietly. Then I continued. "Since that day, I have admired your courage. Many people wait until they feel completely ready. The truth is that nobody is ever completely ready. The people who grow are the people who begin." Those sentences touched my heart. The writer continued sharing advice. Do not stop learning. Read one more page. Learn one more word. Practice one more conversation. Every small step matters. The letter was simple, but every sentence felt meaningful. At the bottom of the page, there was no name. There was only one final sentence. One day, encourage another beginner just as someone once encouraged you. That was all. No signature, no phone number, no address, only those words. For the rest of the day, I kept thinking about the letter. Who had written it? Why had they chosen to remain anonymous? I never discovered the answer, but perhaps the answer was not important. The message itself was enough. The following morning, I placed the letter inside one of my favorite books. Whenever I felt tired or discouraged, I read it again. Each time I read those words, I felt motivated. A few weeks later, something interesting happened. I met a young student who wanted to improve his English. He told me, "I think my English is too bad. I don't think I will ever become fluent." Immediately, I remembered the letter. I smiled and said, "Everyone starts as a beginner. You don't need to be perfect. You only need to keep practicing." His face became brighter. We spent nearly an hour talking in English. I shared some study tips. I recommended simple books and podcasts. Before leaving, he thanked me. A few months later, I saw him again. His English had improved a lot. He spoke with much more confidence. He smiled and said, "Thank you for encouraging me." At that moment, I finally understood the meaning of the letter. The writer had encouraged me. Later, I encouraged someone else. Kindness had continued from one person to another. Sometimes we think that only big actions change the world. But that is not always true. Sometimes one sentence changes a person's life. Sometimes one conversation gives someone hope. Sometimes one kind word gives another person the courage to continue. That is why our words are powerful. We should use them wisely. Encourage people. Support people. Be patient with people. You never know what someone is going through. Everyone is fighting battles that we cannot see. A kind sentence may become the reason someone refuses to give up. That is a beautiful responsibility. Since receiving that letter, I have started writing encouraging notes for myself. Whenever I achieve a goal, I write down what I learned. Whenever I make a mistake, I write what I can improve. Instead of criticizing myself, I remind myself to keep moving forward. Progress is more important than perfection. Learning is more important than showing off. Consistency is more important than speed. These lessons have helped me not only in English, but also in many other parts of my life. Perhaps one day I will write a similar letter to another learner. Perhaps my words will encourage someone who feels like giving up. If that happens, the kindness that started with one anonymous letter will continue growing. And maybe that is exactly what the writer hoped would happen. Before ending today's episode, here are some useful expressions. I received a letter. I was surprised. Keep moving forward. Never stop learning. Your words can inspire others. Every small step matters. Now, I would like you to answer these questions in English. Have you ever received a letter or a message that inspired you? Who encourages you when life becomes difficult? What words would you like to say to someone who is learning English? Take a few minutes to answer these questions. Every answer is another opportunity to improve your English. Thank you very much for listening to today's episode. I hope you enjoyed today's story. Remember, a few kind words can stay in someone's heart for many years. So choose your words carefully. Encourage others. Keep learning. Keep practicing. And never stop believing in yourself. I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.